look at the differences between North and South, let's define what we mean when we say North and South. Well, here's a map of the
Alright, this might be the first one.
United States in 1860. Here's one after the Battle of Fort Sumter in 1861. One definition defines the South as the states where slavery was legal. However, several slave states, often known as border states, remained loyal to the Union after the war broke out. Today, when people say the South, they often mean these states. But sometimes West Virginia gets lumped into the Midwest like Missouri is. And often, Maryland and Delaware get lumped into the Mid-Atlantic region. For this video, when I say the South, I'm talking about all the slave states. And when I say the North, it's all the states north of those. The South has historically been more ideal for growing crops. The climate is warmer. The summers are longer. The winters mild.
Might be your second one coming up.
And the soil is fertile. While the North often has had warm, humid summers, it also has brutally cold and snowy winters. The growing season is much shorter, and farming can be much more difficult there.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the South will never know.
You're lucky.
Southern economy was almost entirely based on agriculture. Farms and plantations dotted the landscape. Southerners sold crops like cotton, tobacco, rice, sugarcane, and indigo. With the invention of the cotton gin in 1793, slaves were in high demand to pick cotton. In fact, the South's economy greatly depended on slave labor. The North had a much more diverse economy, but it was mostly based on industry, specifically manufacturing. For decades, factories popped up throughout the North. Large textile factories thrived producing clothes from cotton grown from the South. Immigrants came in mass numbers to work in these factories. Nearly all industry in the country was in the North, which is a big reason why they had the advantage during the war, because they controlled the ironworks, the railroads, and production of weapons. The North had more people. It had more than 17 million people. The South, less than 13 million, but 4 million of those were slaves.
Should have been your fifth one there, right? So the third one, everybody missed that one?
Yeah.
The climate of the South compared to that of the North? Which one?
D.
Not D.
C.
C. The South was ideal for growing crops. And then the fourth one, what was the primary economic focus of the southern states? B. So you should have 5. Next one is 6 and 7.
The North was more urban. There weren't many big cities in the South. Like I basically said earlier, almost everyone lived on farms or plantations. These plantations were self-sufficient. The North had many big cities, all of them major trading centers, and all of them crowded and dirty. Dirty? Yeah, because the factories were in these cities. Northern cities were where the arts, education, and media thrived, and also transportation hubs.
Transportation.
The North had more canals, more roads, and more railroads. The South had some railroads, but just 9,500 miles of track compared to 22,000 miles of track in the North. I mean, at the beginning of the Civil War, the South was still heavily dependent on the steamship, for crying out loud.
More cities, factories, canals and railroads. The southern states lag far behind.
Buddy, it's not
as
Christmas.
transportation goes.
It's not Christmas. Culture.
Northerners tended to be less religious and more educated than Southerners. They were more politically divided in the North. Southerners were often unified by the slavery issue. Southern culture was usually determined by the aristocratic plantation owners and their families. Children of plantation owners tended to be the only ones who got any kind of major formal education. But in the North, common schools were set up so that even the poorest in society could get some schooling.
Should have number
Politics.
7.
I'm not
Other
really
than
supposed to have my
obviously
phone
views
recording,
about slavery,
I'm
Southerners
risking
tended
it right
to be
now.
more against tariffs. while Northerners were for high tariffs.
below what your
Northerners
favorite color
tended to
is.
have a more, quote, loose interpretation of the Constitution and wanted a stronger
Oh, yeah,
national
guys.
government. Southerners tended to think that state governments should have way more power than the national government and a more literal, quote, strict interpretation of the Constitution.
We like tariffs, not slavery. Free, 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 free the slaves. A strong national government. Interpretation is our faith.
Thanks, Abraham Lincoln.
That was not
I
Abraham
should
Lincoln.
probably point out that that's not actually Abraham Lincoln.
Exactly.
It's Mr. Betts impersonating him. Be sure to check out his Mariah Carey Civil War parody
Oh
if
my-
you're done watching this video. In conclusion, these differences definitely helped explain sectionalism, or one's belief that her or his region is superior to other sections of the country. Political conflict
Oh my
often
God.
begins with regional differences. Just ask Abraham Lincoln, who was elected
guys, I
president
got pencil
pretty
on my
much
face.
thanks to just one region, the North. Let's pull up
Comment
that.
down below
All
what
right,
video
so
you
we
want
should
next.
have 8. What was 8?
So cringy. I do not know.
C. Northerners were for high tariffs, high taxes
Wait, is that-
on things coming into America. 9.
Um,
What was one characteristic of Southern culture? B. They were all unified.
I
They
said
all
that.
wanted in the South. They all
Yeah.
wanted
B.
slavery. And then 10. D.
D.
That was their main source of
nuts.
transportation in the South. Steamboats. Now your boy Bryce over here is gonna come around and pick all those up.
Wait, what actually? I'm not even done yet.
well, that smells good.
Wait, what's...
Where'd you get it?
Every note is-
What kind is it? That smells good.
Okay, I need... What's number 4? What's number 4?
I don't know. I just guessed.
B? B.
Don't copy it from me. I don't know what I'm doing. Comment down below what video went next. Bye. Goodbye. Hey.